The new trading posts offer some insane features. Hi friends, and welcome back to Raft. Chapter 3 finally dropped on Monday, along with plenty of new locations, content, and gameplay features. Some of it might be a bit confusing to any new Rafters, or even those of us with a decent amount of gameplay experience, so I thought I would make a short series of videos explaining these new features and how you can use them to your advantage in your own playthroughs. So without further ado, let's get into the first installment of Guides for Chapter 3, Trading Posts and Fishing. Trading posts and fishing may seem like an unusual combination for a game guide, but these two features are inherently connected for reasons that will become obvious in just a little bit. But to really understand how to use these game mechanics to their fullest potential, we need to start at the very beginning, which in this case is the Recycler. The Recycler is a new machine that becomes available after completing the first story location, and it has exactly one purpose. It takes all of the excess materials you have sitting around your raft, and it turns them into trash cubes. It takes 6 plastic, 4 metal ingots, 2 either of bolts or hinges, and 1 circuit board to craft the Recycler, so it's definitely relatively expensive in terms of early game items. Once you place it on your raft, it will need to be powered. Specifically, the Recycler needs 1 battery to operate, and then once you place 30 items into the basin, it will condense them down into 1 trash cube. Trash cubes are the main things that you'll trade in to get stuff from the trading posts, so you'll need a lot of them. The other type of currency that you'll use is trade coins, but we'll get into those later. Realistically, you'll probably end up using leaves or plastic as your primary source to create the trash cubes, but you can mix and match from any of these items. Up top, we have the generic floating debris that you will certainly accrue large amounts of as you progress through the game. After you're finished building the outline of your raft, leaves and plastic become pretty much obsolete, hence making them the most reliable resource that you'll probably just waste most of the time. But of course, planks and scrap are also viable. Then we move on to the secondary trash items, like seaweed, vine goos, nails, etc. This is the kind of stuff that you'll find in barrels and crates, but you don't typically need too much of, so you can turn it into cubes. But if you wanted to be really bougie, you could of course use metal ores, metal bars, and the basic smelted materials. This includes titanium. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you theoretically could. And finally, there's the non-food animal products. So I suppose technically giant clams finally have another use other than just making bird nests. Or you could just make all of the bird nests and get more feathers for net benefit. But now that you know how to get the currency that you'll need to trade in at the trading posts, let's talk about how to access the posts themselves. Trading posts can be found on large islands. They can also be found in any biome, so if you're fortunate to find an evergreen or desert island, they'll be there too. No matter where you are, every trading post will always have the same trades available. On top of the trading post manual, you'll notice 2 main features. In the upper right corner, you'll see an area for your current reputation, which starts at the bottom of Tier 1. Your reputation level is correlated to what trades you can unlock, so if you're visiting a trading post for the first time, then you only really have 3 options. The simple fishing bait, and then some plastic and planks, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying these as they are significantly more expensive to buy than the minimal effort it takes to actually gather this stuff. But that simple fishing bait is the key to unlocking all of your trading dreams, and this is why we're covering fishing and trading posts in the same guide. The other major feature you'll need to pay attention to on the menu is the difference between the Buy tab and the Sell tab. That Sell tab is how you'll increase your reputation level and eventually unlock the other trades. You can currently only sell fish to the trading posts, but these aren't the typical mackerels that you've been used to getting. These are some special fish that are only used in trading. You can't cook them or eat them, you can literally only sell them to the trading posts. But to fish for these, you can't just use your standard metal fishing rod. You'll need that simple fishing bait from earlier. If you have the bait in your inventory, you can right-click while holding the metal fishing rod, and that will allow you to select your fishing bait to use. Because you only have access to the simple fishing bait right now, that's what you should probably use. When fishing bait is active on your rod, the game will prioritize using the bait until you run out. But you won't be able to catch the standard fish during this time. For the simple bait, you'll have the opportunity to catch 3 different fish. The glow shrimp, the net nibbler, and the sharp carp are all Tier 1 fish that can then be sold to the trading posts. All fish within a given tier will give you the same rewards, so you don't need to worry about catching certain ones over others. Trading in your newly acquired fish for Tier 1, you'll receive 1 trade coin and 10 reputation points for every fish that you sell. It takes 300 points to level up to Tier 2, and you can only buy 20 simple bait from a given post, meaning you'll need to visit at least 2 large islands before you'll have access to the middle tier. But in the meantime, you can spend your shiny new trade coins on the unique Tier 1 items. This is how you get the chili and the turmeric that you'll need for some of the advanced food recipes. Speaking of those recipes, you can now buy most of them under Tier 1. The recipes themselves are pretty cheap, costing only 1 trash cube and 1 trade coin each, and once you buy them the first time, you don't need to buy them ever again. I'll cover the exact changes to cooking with the addition of the juicer and all of the new recipes in a future video, so be sure to subscribe if you want all of those juicy details. The other unique Tier 1 trades are for the air horn, which you'll need to place on your raft, but then you can thoroughly annoy your friends and make some MLG raft edits, and you can also purchase a wardrobe, which allows you to change your outfits in-game. Plus, this will definitely be useful as a decoration item. I appreciate that all of Maya's outfits have a different number on all of them too. And finally, you can buy the compass. This always points roughly north. I don't really see how it's useful, but to each their own. So once you've sold enough fish and bought all of the items that you want, you can upgrade to the Tier 2 trades. Again, we start with the advanced fishing bait. This functions the exact same way as the simple fishing bait, but will instead lure in the phone flitter, the puffer lisk, and the trap snapper. These can be sold at the trade posts for 1 trade coin and 100 reputation points each, making it definitely worth your while to go for the higher tier fish, especially since the advanced bait costs 1 trash cube just like the simple bait. There are also some cool Tier 2 trades that you should definitely take advantage of. Juniper is another cooking resource that we'll cover in the future, along with the hearty stew recipe, but you should pick up a tic-tac-toe board to keep yourself entertained between islands. Or you could buy the foundation counter just to get a read on how big your raft is. There's also the honk horn, which is another fantastic instrument to make noise with. Tier 2 trading also gives you access to the advanced crop plots, which are just upgraded versions of the crop plots you already know and love, but most importantly, you can buy 3 unique hats for the mere price of 6 trash cubes and 6 trade coins each. The chef's hat, the disguise glasses, and the sailor's hat are all unique trading hats that you can't get anywhere else in the game. But Tier 3 is where we really get into the cool new things that were added. You'll need 3,000 points to upgrade to the final reputation tier and unlock everything from your wildest dreams. Again, fishing is important, so it's worth it to purchase the expert fishing bait for the same low price of 1 trash cube. There are 6 Tier 3 fish: the lionfish, the lunar fish, the pentapus, the pink pike, the rainbow lobster, and the shark eater. When sold to the posts, each fish will give you 2 trade coins to spend on yet more amazing unique trades. First is the advanced scarecrow, which is a permanent version of the very flimsy one you crafted in the early stages of your farm. Then we get a fridge, which has storage for 25 stacks, so it's pretty great in terms of space, but will also be a lovely addition to any kitchen builds. I am very excited for the new drawbridges, which come in a 4-tile long form and a 2-tile short form. These can be placed anywhere and fold out into usable bridges, which is super cool, and I am already thinking of building applications. The surfboard is purely decorative, but it's still cool, and then there's the last instrument, which is the Viking horn. We also got a new cassette, bringing the total up to 6 tapes. In terms of useful items, the Tier 3 trades are by far the best because you can get 2 blueprints. The first is for the new canteen, which holds 10 glugs of fresh water, so double the water bottles, but this also gives you the blueprint for the detail plank item. It only costs 10 planks to make 5 detail planks, so if you think of it as 2 planks for detail plank, that's pretty cheap for an item that can be placed anywhere and also has collision. This is one of the items that I am most excited to design new rafts with, because the potential is literally limitless. But of course there are also 4 new hats: the diving helmet, the fishing hat, some sunglasses, and the pirate hat. So it's definitely worth working your way up through the trading tiers to unlock all of this cool new stuff. Plus, you could technically buy up to 15 titanium at Tier 3 as well, which will definitely save in some grinding time. But that's the gist of how to use trading posts and the valuable items contained within. I'm super happy that there's all of this new stuff to experiment with and figure out as we work our way through the game. It's an amazing update, and it was definitely worth the wait. But that's it for the first installment of my Chapter 3 guides. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider leaving a like if you did, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps me out. I hope to see you all again soon, but until then, have a great day.